Hello everybody and happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hi Paul, hi Rambo, welcome everybody. We're just doing our regular thing here today. Grabbing our daily ration, doing our daily job. Hello! CL Gamer able to tune in today. That's exciting. Kerwante, welcome. XORS, welcome, welcome. Maybe today's the day. Maybe we hit Rusty Rigs. It's been a hot minute. Yeah, we're just doing some of our regular stuff here today. So, continuing to disassemble power cells on our Martisans, focusing mostly on those lower electrical level ones that need to catch up to everybody else. Hey, Steph. Hey, Oscar the dog. Welcome, welcome. And we're continuing to train all of our Martisans up to 50 electrical. Having everyone do that Power Cell 3 for us. Ah, still not enough XP down there. Okay. To get everyone to be able to do Power Cell 3 and as well as charging power cores. That's the other reason we want to get to 50. Hey, Deegan, welcome, welcome. Yeah, and some of the other stuff we're going to look at today are all those, like, player-made tools that are out there. Where do you get tons of food and water? I watched a lot of streams and did not notice how you did it. Yeah, so at one point we bought a lot of our stuff on the market. We had a significant amount of Dusk and from doing a lot of those rover survey missions in the past. And when that came in, we decided to go for an achievement that was actually buy 500,000 food on the market. And so that's where that pile of food came from. Hello, RDG, Cell Power, Mohawk, Distant. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, pretty much all on the market is where we acquired all of our food. Same with our water. We mostly just bought all of our stuff. Hey, Primo, welcome, welcome. Looks like our music is a scooch loud there today. So we gotta keep mostly getting this bottom. We have one Martisan down here at the bottom who needs a fair bit of XP, so we'll make sure we get a good amount of tasks on them. Koopy Bread, welcome, welcome. How are people's Fridays going? What is everybody up to today? Any exciting weekend plans for anybody? Mohawk, I wouldn't say we have unlimited Dusk. We have a good amount left over from when we were continuing to cycle those surveyor missions from back when. Got new kittens. That's exciting. Continue to drink that thing you've got. Yeah. If you can't tell, we've got a little bit of a cold today. A little bit sniffly, so my apologies. What are the plans of the developers regarding the banned accounts and their abandoned lands? You would have to ask somebody that is not me. But, you know, lands are yours on chain, so don't know about all that. What do we think about Wax? Oh, showing up on Polygon. Gotcha. Super exciting network. I know there's loads of people who already play over on Polygon. From the cross promo thing with Sunflower Land. I know it's a really good network. Like pretty easy to acquire stuff from what I understand. What's the temperature in Canada? Not that cold anymore. It's warming up a little bit. We're still about 0, you know. On any given day right now, we're ranging between like -5 and +5. Once you get your Martisans to level 50, do you plan to max out all your solar panels for charge 3? Most of them are already maxed out, but I could see myself doing a few of them. It's a comfy temperature, yeah. So one of the other things I do is sort of bounce around and check, like, okay, so this artisan with the black hat does not quite have 25,000. So you need, like, 3 more tasks in here to get to 25,000, which is how much experience you need for level 50. So good to check that instead of just randomly assigning all of them to disassemble power cell tasks without checking first. Gas tripled when you came on Polygon. Ah, interesting. The difference between summer and winter in Canada is 3 inches of snow. So I was talking to my wife the other day actually about how much snow, like, do people remember days of, like, massive, like, way over your head snowbanks and drifts and stuff? I swear that this is a thing that was... Maybe snow was just a lot taller when I was a kid. But I remember days of, like, massive snowbanks, like, way over your head. Is there anyone who's, like, really low XP? No, we're pretty much all the way there. Okay, so you with the red cap could use a little bit more. Oh yeah, so for anyone who's new to the stream, anyone who's just tuning in, wondering anything at all, so one of the things we do here is answer every single question that comes up in the chat. If you have a game-related question and you want to know where to find something, how to do something, what's going on, we are happy to answer all those questions. This is a sort of, like live, not live support, but live tutorial every single week. And so people will show up, they'll drop their questions in the chat, we answer them as we go. And then we talk about sort of what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, that kind of thing. Walk everyone through what tasks we're completing, and what our goals are, and why we're doing it. Excuse me. So, keeping up with chat. Aerospace question. I heard that we can get aerospace papers in the ground control, but how to unlock those tasks, and what is the arcade game? Okay. Easy, 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 easy. Okay, so we get our ground control station. There is missions that come in stages. So at any level of ground control station, you can start virtual hopper testing. As you follow that one through to the end, you'll get aerospace research credits. This one won't give aerospace research papers, but this is the best one for gaining experience. Some of the other ones will give, like, a schematic for a building, rocket fuel, a hopper factory, a fuel tank. I don't believe those ones are for your papers. I think right now aerospace papers are primarily from achievements, if I had to guess. At least that's the biggest source that I know of. Lots of people when they're finishing achievements. Oh, that's kind of funny. We're like a little bit off of one achievement there. But yeah, mostly from doing achievements right now. Sunflower Land transaction went from 10 cents to $10. Interesting. So lots going on with gas over on Polygon. So this is one of the reasons that I think Million on Mars is, like, incredibly successful at what they do. Being a primarily virtual, like, you don't have to do everything on chain. You're not constantly signing transactions. So when things fluctuate, you can still play and not worry about what's going on like any given chain and any transactions and gas fees spiking and dropping. None of that impacts my ability to play and have fun, right? Polygon has very high gas fees recently, but they'll bring out this new mainnet soon. Hopefully that'll solve it. Cool. Ground control still needs to be turned on. It needs level 80 fabrication. Yes, but you can also rent the job to do that. So you can just ask somebody to fill that stamina for you. If anybody needs that, I'm happy to throw up some expert fabrication experience and help people out. I think I've done a couple of those for people in the past. Just none up there right now. So we continue to bounce around between some of our aerospace buildings. The reason that we're doing the tasks that we're doing right now are to try and get some spacecraft components built. So we're looking at maybe getting some hoppers put together. Because those are going to be pretty useful here not too long from now. If a friend sends me a plot of land on which there's a ground control station, launched and configured, will I be able to use it, or will I have to reconfigure and launch it? That is a good question. I believe that those specific tasks stay set up in the building as the building transfers between players. Multi-chain is also a way to Multi-chain is also a way to solve high gas fees on one chain. Yeah, so as some chains become more crowded and you can kind of bounce in between them. One of the things that we've always talked about is being chain agnostic. So basically, we want to operate where it doesn't really matter what chains we're on. You can play the game regardless of any of that. How are people doing in some of the latest tournaments that are going up? So we had the Level Up tournament, which a whole lot of people were competing in. Let's go check it out. So this leaderboards was renamed to games to more accurately represent what's going on here. And so we had this Level Up leaderboard where every level you gained, you got a point, and then it was a raffle, so then we had these top 3 people earn a Martisan for just gaining a handful of levels. So this is why, if a tournament is raffle, highly recommend that you join regardless of how many points you're going to earn, because at least getting 1 point gives you a chance, right? Ending up here with 3 points is pretty rad. What's the difference between Engineering Bay Pack, for example, Rare 3D Shop, or Legendary 3D Shop? Distant, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Do you mean like the difference between a gold pack and an obsidian pack, or... So we'll continue to throw a lot of electrical experience on this lowest Martisan, because we know they need the most. Oh, a silver pack is something that's sort of a holdover from previous... I don't know, you can still build them in a couple places, I think. Yeah, so this is just a standard roll on an engineering bay. These likely won't be around too much longer, as they're moving towards gold and obsidian packs being the standard and the silver packs phasing out. The silver packs were just sort of bridging the gap between Gen 1 and Gen 3. So these just sort of existed until all those other packs could get put into the game, right? So we want all of these, like, mining rig packs and all these different packs to be all set up first. So for anyone wondering, all that stuff is like a very high fabrication level, and also finding all the relevant knowledge for those buildings. So your high-level fabricators are going to be the people providing buildings going forward on Mars. There's some other cool stuff coming with that pretty soon. So, of course, a while back we had shared something that I'd like to revisit, which is kind of cool. It's the thorium reactors. If anyone recalls, we had said, oh no, we're out of uranium. I wonder if we can buy uranium on the market to get our thorium reactor going in. Is there any on the market for like 8,000? No. Market's pretty dry there. Oh, we're finally able to upgrade our Vulcan Metalworks. We've been waiting on that one for a long time. So packs are just, you open them and they have the relevant building in them, the same as any other pack. Have I seen the tournament for mining and prizes? Mining and prizes? No. I didn't finish answering one other question, though. In the, in the ground control station, there's also the task for arcade games. So you unlock these by finishing a mission chain. So when you do this final mission step, you'll unlock a new arcade game. These arcade games give rewards in this tournament if you are competing in the Houston arcade. So you enter the tournament, you complete those tasks to earn points, and you earn a good amount of Dusk, as well as this is where you'll get your aerospace research just by participating. So this is a really good one. You pay your 100 Dusk, enter this, go to your ground control station and complete some of these arcade games. And I don't know if these are... Yeah, okay, we are able to do this. So this will give us some points when it finishes in this tournament. And then it's a raffle tournament, random weighted by score. And depending on where you end up, you can get some papers this way, as well as Dusk. What's the level of the engineering bay needed for print concrete habitat? So that's a great segue into... Let's go check the wiki. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's a fantastic wiki that exists for Mars. Like, all kinds of pages, categories are sorted, it talks about all the different marketplace, exchanges for currency, how to set up wallets on any of them, any new content shows up here. Really, really good stuff. So one of the things we look at is, like, printed concrete habitat. And if we go to the page for this item that you're asking about, we can look at available tasks in this building, how many task slots it has, upgrades and maintenance, crafting and building packs. So if it's not already on here, and I don't know 100% if it is, we could ask... Oh, so you're looking at making the concrete habitat, sorry, which is going to be in the engineering bay. And we can look at make concrete habitat. Print concrete habitat. So right now we just have that it requires a building level. What we could do is ask the people who are working on the wiki to break this down a little bit more. So like a mythic engineering bay can do it at level 1. A common engineering bay needs to be leveled up all the way. But we could ask the people who are working on this to split this up a little bit more, and we could have a better idea of what's going on there. Yeah, so the people working on this are really, really talented and great at expanding it as needed. Shout out to Steph in the chat. Steph has been working incredibly hard on all of this and has been doing a fantastic job. Do we know anything about the shards update? I do not. I have all the recipes for them, but now idea. I see. I don't know exactly what you're saying, but sounds good. I mean, if you're like racking up recipes, that's great. Hey, Oksania, welcome. So one of the other things we'll be doing soon here is expanding our settlement. You can see these plots in green here we've picked up recently, and we'll be tacking them on to expand a little bit. What I'm hoping is this last Martisan got a little bit of experience from a previous task, so we can get them leveled up here. Morning, Tangemon, welcome. So keeping on our train here, getting people leveled up. Then we'll pop over and we'll look at some of the other tools and talk about ups and downs of each of them. So the wiki, I think, is like the most useful tool. I go there and use it regularly when I need to look stuff up. Despite having access to like any of the internal stuff that I could go find, the fact that I go to the wiki to actually look for stuff I think is pretty telling on how useful it is. Like, you want to know, yeah, how the composter works. You can pop over here. You can read all about it and what it's doing and why it's doing what it's doing. But just to talk about a few other tools that exist. I know lots of people in the Discord use DigiPedro, which is this website. This will tell you, like, profitability of certain tasks and your costs and your sale value. If there's, like, a range in flat gain, so, like, epic meta shields, like, 40% profit margin, but also the most actual Dusk gain by doing them. But some of the things that aren't going to be on here, like, I don't think any of the aerospace buildings are on here yet. Yes, also, like, could be wildly inaccurate, so don't take this. So personally, I don't really use this website too much. I'll come here to, like, check if something is, like, a good thing to start looking into. But as you've seen if you've tuned in before, I tend to do all the math myself on my own spreadsheets, as this recommends at the top, right? Founder sheet is not being worked on anymore. Not really. We're not supporting too many of those anymore. This sheet does still exist. This is, if you do the little XP command, EXP or XP, you can get access to this sheet, which tells you papers and Dusk required. So this is Ari's sheet with lots of different info for different levels. So a lot of this will be on the wiki now, but it is another player tool that is available for looking up some more data. Soil is not currently profitable, but says so here. Yeah, so this is, I mean, this is why you need to sit down and figure things out yourself. Like, this is not looking at moisture or anything else. It's when you click that button, what's the inputs, what's the outputs, right? Anyway, definitely a grain of salt. Just don't just do what it says here. Back over on our settlement, we'll do all of our regular things. So we're doing rusty rigs. Yep, soil's very complex to calculate. Wrote a story. Welcome, welcome. Can't handle anything complex or anything with without sales volume. Yeah, so that's why I was talking about the graphite chain on the previous stream, because lots of the steps in the graphite chain say 0. Yeah, we talked about graphite, we talked about ice mining. Those aerospace missions we had said in a previous stream were a really good one. Do this mission chain, build up some credits, and go buy the schematics to resell to bigger players. I stayed away from the leaderboard because I didn't have enough Dusk. Now I want to join, but the new update doesn't work on my phone. Ah, okay. So if you're talking about this newest mission, so lots of people fighting here. So this metis weaving field to shield, you'll get points for every task that you start. So growing mushrooms, making meta shields, cakes, and teas. And it is a ranked, so just top score wins. So those people up at the top are all fighting for these schematics for mythic and legendary meta shields. But you can also get decent knowledge if you're 3rd, 4th, or all the way down to 10th for making meta shields of different rarities. So these knowledge items let you repeatedly do the recipe, where schematics are one-time use. You can also acquire the epic meta shield by doing those mission chains, the starting hopper, and you can get the rare meta shield from doing some rover missions, and this is currently the only way to acquire this uncommon. Those schematics at the top, there is no way to earn a knowledge or a recipe for these two meta shields, so that's why these schematics are very high value. It's the only way to get them right now. The prize, I think, is one time only, not the recipe. Yes. So, something to talk about for all of this stuff. The naming conventions for everything have been standardized on Mars. So, a recipe is something that you have, you can trade it, you can use it to learn something yourself, and the recipe gives you knowledge. Knowledge means that you know how to make it, you can do it repeatedly. Schematics are one-time use items that you use to make the buildings. So if we go over to our inventory and we make our way down to these things, we'll see these are all recipes, right? We could use these to gain the knowledge to make stuff. So recipes are learnable, some of them are tradable. You use them to gain knowledge to make the item repeatedly. If you have it, you should have, these should all be knowledge, 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 knowledge. You have the knowledge to make that thing. Schematics are one use. You think third is better than first? Maybe, but you can also get that epic recipe yourself just by doing this chain. So it depends. But one of the things to point out is that when you come third or fourth or fifth to 10th, you're not getting the recipe. You are getting the knowledge. So you're not getting a tradable version of this. So if you already have this knowledge, like I already know how to make epic meta shields, so this isn't that useful to me. I don't have uncommon, so I wouldn't mind coming 5th to 10th, which is sort of what I'm shooting for here. Hello, Christina. Welcome, welcome. We're just talking through some of our daily things, what we're usually doing. Doing some rolls here for Rusty Rigs. Maybe one day. Maybe we'll get through all of 2023 and we won't get a single Rusty Rig. That'd be kind of funny. And we're just poking around some of the tools that players have available to them. Talking about what kind of stuff is available over here. And, yeah, just some of the different sheets that we have going on. We're also going to have to look at what we want to open today. It's cheaper to buy than to try and win. I mean, that depends. If you were going to be growing mushrooms anyway, because you're trying to make lots of mushroom tea or what have you. Okay, so we need to put some more water in here. Easy. And then we need to... Can't do all of these at once, but we'll grow a bunch of mushrooms here. And then recharge our stamina and finish growing the last little bit of mushrooms. So basically here we're just dumping a few more points into the tournament, trying to stay in that like 5th to 10th range for ourselves. I won Rusty Rigs like 5 months ago. Oh, that's exciting. All about that mining rig lottery. Yep. We'll just throw these last couple ones on here. So we've got those mushrooms going. We also probably want to head to our tea shop down here and start making mushroom tea. So we're a little bit low on mushroom tea. And mushroom cakes are actually made in the 3D print shop. So we could head over there and we could make some mushroom cakes as well. Just kind of get a little bit of everything going. We have a number of print shops, so we could run around and make even more of this. And let's see where that put us. So I think, yeah, we've been bumped up to 10th place here now, so we're a little bit more competitive. We really just want to end up in this like 5th to 10th range, I think. Is it profitable to make mushroom tea? I suggest you break out the spreadsheets, punch in the numbers, and do the math. So if you're gonna buy all of the ingredients, so power, 10 mushrooms, water, 4 stamina, you're guaranteed to get 1. So if you hit this 20% roll, I imagine it's probably a loss if you're not hitting this 2 to 4. Because I don't think 1 tea, maybe it's close. But I imagine it's always profitable when you hit this 20%, and it's probably a loss when you don't. That'd be my guess. One of the different regions going to be available, like solar panels most effective in certain areas. Waiting for that before expanding. Yeah, that's an update that I'm pretty excited for. So eventually, where you are on Mars is going to matter. So what you could do is go to the globe. Mushrooms are not cheap at all. Good luck to you. Well, you can make your own as well, right? If you click on these, it'll actually tell you a brief description of different areas, so you could actually get a better idea of what's going on in certain areas, right? So in this particular DTM, you can actually see, is this nickel is here? The most important thing is nickel ore readily available. So nickel is a key catalyst in the SAB reactor. So if you're someone who wants to get lots of CO2, water, methane, oxygen, be like a high chemistry level, work on all that stuff, have a lot of SAB reactors, this would be a good region to live in. We also said, you know, any DTM that's in the middle of the globe is going to be an ideal candidate for solar panels, because you're closer to the equator, right? Versus if you're on one of these like more north ones or more south ones, you're not going to get as much sunlight. But yeah, have a look at these, read the descriptions, and you'll have a better idea of what's going on in the different DTMs. So one of the other things we're working on is having one of our martisans complete... we're leveling up a martisan in scavenging, which is actually pretty difficult to do. So... I'm sure everyone's aware, but you cannot have your martisan do scavenging, right? They can't press this button. Scavenging is strictly for players. But something you can do is in the cantina. You can pick a task like summer scrap collection here. And it actually does give some scavenging XP without doing any scavenging. You can actually have your martisans do these tasks, building up small amounts of scavenging XP on a martisan. So when you're doing this, eventually you can level them up. It's going to be pretty slow getting like 4 to 8 experience at a time for some of these tasks. So there's a, yeah, so now we're gonna get all the, why? What are you doing? Why would you do this? So there are certain tasks in the game that do require a scavenging level. So for example, making apprentice scavenging tools. This is the only way to get a martisan leveled up to be able to do this task. Is this a useful thing or a valuable thing that people would care about? Probably not. Is it a novelty that you could then sell that martisan for a fair price because scavenging martisans are very, very rare? I think there are 1 that's level 50 and maybe 2 that are level 25 scavenging that I know of. But once you get to level 30, you can level it up a little bit faster by making these tools. You also have one, yeah. So some people made these as a novelty. They're pretty difficult to get put together. Don't think it adds any value. No, I'm not recommending this as a thing that any player should do. More of a, here's an interesting thing that you are able to do. Nope, I don't imagine there's a scavenging rework coming anytime soon. Scavenging was reworked not too long ago. It is very purposeful in the way it is currently set up. You're not supposed to scavenge forever by clicking a single button on Mars and being successful that way. You're supposed to specialize and pick something and choose things to be better at. Scavenging is more, you have nothing else to spend your stamina on. I guess I'll put it into scavenging. We were doing summer scrap collection. Oh, we ran out of metal bits. So let's just go buy, you know, a handful of metal bits to get ourselves going again. Better to sell in the market, it is more profitable. Yep, so always like sit down and do the math on things. Check if it's better to sell stuff on the market or if it's better to buy certain steps in your chain. Oh, we do have some Roverworks packs, so we could open one of those to give away today. Yeah, we could probably do that. Let's take those off the market and let's get one of those opened up for a giveaway today. We could give away the pack itself as well. But with those metal bits gathered up, we're going to go and do summer scrap collection, because we are trying to get this Martisan leveled up in scavenging. Mostly just for the novelty. It's a difficult thing to do, and we don't know how long it's going to be available. Maybe the scavenging XP will be cut from here eventually, and then it'll be impossible to level up a Martisan in scavenging. Because they're not supposed to have scavenging levels, right? So one of the things I talk about, much more exciting if you open the pack. Sure, yeah, we can rip a pack open on stream here. I talk about some of these things in terms of, like, those legacy items that are really difficult to acquire and come from some older games. So, like, my example is always in old school RuneScape, where you could get those party hats that, like party hats and Santa hats and whatever, that don't exist anymore. So they're unique one-offs from another era, right? So I would say, depending on how things change and develop, maybe a scavenging Martisan is like that. I know for sure one of the items that's like that is a Gen 2 mining rig or a Gen 2 grind and brew. Just not very many of those exist, and not many of them were made, and I don't think you can still make them anymore, as everything is now crafting Gen 3s and making Gen 3s. So if you happen to own Gen 2 items, of which really not very many were made, I think those are relatively rare as well. We're also doing a lot of rover missions, trying to get our rover XP high enough to... do we have enough here? No, okay, we gotta do another shortcut here. Trying to get our rover XP high enough to get ourselves to 100, of which we need 120,000, and we're about 20,000 away from getting there. What about hoppers? Will they be something like rovers? So, building a hopper will cost you something like 200,000 Dusk in total. It's just very, very expensive to get into. It is the end game content, right? So if we go to a Vulcan Metalworks and we scroll to the bottom and look at these spacecraft components, building a hopper frame is going to cost you all these stainless steel plates and aluminum lithium alloy plates. All this stuff collectively is just very, very expensive to put together. So hoppers are basically like very expensive rovers. What happens at the end of the game? It continues to develop. There isn't really a, this is the end, we are done. Things continue to be made and added and developed. But if you want to read more about like what aerospace is and the direction it's headed, I recommend listening to any of the sort of community roundtable or any of the Mars cast. Shout out to Felix and Santi. Mars cast is always interesting to tune into. Yep, Steph got it right there. Asteroid mining is one of the... As soon as I get these Martisans plugged into these training halls, I'll pop over and look at some of the aerospace stuff to talk about. So that's something I can chat about distant. Attacking and PvP. So combat between players or factions and things, it's not really the idea. If any PvP is coming, it would be for rovers to fight each other, right? Having our robots do battles. We're not, like, it's not a combat-focused game. But we can open aerospace here and talk about some away missions and asteroids. So here's all your aerospace stuff that's coming. So some of these missions might be like between settlements, on Mars, between DTMs, that kind of thing. And then asteroids would be like flying out and finding an asteroid for, you know, titanium or chromium. So it's got whatever metal you're looking for, and you're going and getting that kind of thing. Tournaments are sort of PvP. Yeah, they're in the same vein. There's some PvP going on there. I I'm a bigger fan of, like, collaborative gameplay, more so than competitive. Like, stuff that you get to do with all your friends is such a blast. It's part of the reason that I really pushed for the, that thing that we did. The trivia. So, we have this Metis chain going because we've been doing a lot of Coprades missions. And for anyone who didn't know, there's the secret missions through Coprades that will give you a ton of Metis when you finish. You just have to get lucky enough to get them. It's going to be, yes, but it's hard to play with friends and hard to do something together. So the idea is introducing more things that allow you to play together. So maybe getting tasks that require multiple players to start them, and each of those players need, like, high-level skills. Like, I need someone with 100 life science and someone with 125 electrical, and I need all these people to come start this ship together so we can go do a mission. So, like, that kind of collaborative gameplay seems super cool to me. But, I mean, I know there was a lot of collaborative gameplay that happened when, what were they called? When trivia was going on. A lot of people were, like, helping each other out and diving on into that. We're going to continue on with our Coprades missions. Raids on settlements? Probably not. Because, again, it's not about, like, stealing and doing things to each other, but more working with each other, right? We're going to continue to get closer to opportunity, and we are going to travel with the cargo. We have, like, 5 new missions starting here. I'm ready to be on the space team. Put me in, Captain. Roll as Captain, I think, will be nice. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those missions pan out and what people are going to have as rewards and how they're going to be set up. I know, like, letting players make their own tournaments and missions and things in the GDE is definitely something coming in the future. Am I finding the Coprades missions are profitable? Probably. I did the math once upon a time. The reason I'm doing them now is to get the metas from the one mission chain, and mostly for the XP. I'm trying to get my rover, or my robotics XP leveled up to... Oh, this will be a good chunk. This is why we're doing it. So finishing these missions will give us, like, a couple thousand robotics XP, I think. This is my main focus. This, like, 2,000 robotics XP. Probably breaking 2 rovers isn't profitable, but I'm really shooting for this to get up to 120,000. Because I'm trying to get all skills maxed out. So you can see life science is maxed out, chemistry is maxed out, because we have 2 specializations already in fabrication and electrical. Electrical is maxed out because we can't go to 150. So, you know, we did this one. Now we're working on robotics, getting this all the way up. Then we'll focus on machining and mining. We are slowly doing aerospace as well. Funnily enough, we were 1 XP away from the next level there. That's too expensive to do? Yeah, I mean, it's not for everyone. This is just what I'm doing, right? We can launch another set of missions here, I think. We're running out of rovers, though. We've broken a lot of them. How do we choose what professions to max? Personally, I'm just doing all of them. So, and then, do you mean which ones to specialize in? So we chose our 2 specializations based on a couple things. I have a mythic maxed out engineering bay, and so building packs seem like a good route for me because I also have unlocked a couple of obsidian ones, so a good reason for me to max out my fabrication level to build a lot of these packs. Especially when this is the only way to acquire buildings in the future, so as the player base expands and buildings become more and more in demand, this is the only way to go about getting them. So especially like these gold rover works packs we've been building a couple of for people. Our other specialization is electrical, which just makes sense given how many energy cores we need. So we've been charging a bunch of energy cores, and the best Charge Energy Core 3 requires 125 electrical, so that's why we leveled up this one. So yeah, that's roughly why we're doing what we're doing currently. I think we have some other training hall. Oh, we're using this one. I think there's one over here where we can actually go train our one Martisan in scavenging. So hopefully we've been gaining enough scavenging XP that we can actually level this guy up. Yeah, there we go. So we'll roll just a few more rusty rigs here. And then we'll open up a Roverworks pack to give away. Yeah, so any other questions from people about like the tools that we have available? Anything on the wiki? Anything about DigiPedro or XP ratio spreadsheet? All these things also tell you about like some of the secret, like Ari really is tacked on. It became a lot more than just like an XP spreadsheet. It has like pictures of lots of different missions and rewards and things like that. So pretty cool spreadsheet to check out. Lots and lots going on. Changelog sitting there at the front. How to use DigiPedro. I don't think I'm the best person to talk about that, just because it's not my area of expertise. I have market data that failed to load. So I rarely use that website. I do all the math myself. I think it's an okay tool to say sort by return on investment, and you can check this kind of stuff. But like making raw graphite, no, this isn't accurate because there's 0 for all of the chemicals that go into this. Get soil, it says, is a really good return, but this doesn't take into account all the complications in the composter. Yeah, so just stuff like this. While it's a good rough indicator, it shouldn't be taken at face value. You can sort by gain to see exact gains, how much stuff is selling for. So like engineering bays are selling for a ton. This is your average. But see, like, does this calculate the average of all of your potential outputs? Anyway, it's a good tool to get an idea of what you should be doing, right? Works for things with high volume, and the moisture calculations in the soil make it wrong. I think level 100 Martisans should be able to specialize in one skill and get signets in that skill. Nope, signets are for players only. They can specialize, but signets are a player item, not a Martisan item. Even doing the math for yourself, composters are quite annoying to calculate. So if you're someone who wants to get to know the composter chain and figure out what's going on in here, I highly recommend connecting with that one guild that does all this stuff. They do lots of calculations. I think Match is the person in the Discord to talk to for how all this works and how they keep their composters running well. Personally, I just buy food from all the people who make it, so I'm not the best to talk about exactly what's going on in the composter, but pretty much what happens is if you have bio waste, it is converted on a regular basis automatically. And so there's sort of a good idea of like, usually you just want to be using get soil to keep your moisture down, and then occasionally like making fertilizer and feeding worms and things like that. I will look for the guild that is called the guild that knows all the stuff. I think Adratica maybe is how you say their name, but they're like primarily a life science guild. I wish it would be awesome, but they aren't a player, so it would give people with high level Martisans too much of an advantage. Yes, correct. That's why you can only get the 2 signets for the skills that you have specialized in. You can still do high level tasks if you have Martisans in other skills, but you need to buy, if it requires signets, you'll have to buy those signets from players who are trained in that skill. Composters are a very needy building. It's a surprise when you're going to do it with every time you open it. Yeah, so because they do a lot of things automatically, they're pretty involved. So there's a lot of opening it up, making sure that you're doing stuff regularly. They require a lot of babysitting. And some players need more than two skills of skills. Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to be a player who does absolutely everything, you could buy all the Martisans over level 100 in like all kinds of different skills. Like we do have 100 mining, 100 cooking, 150 entertainment. So we have some high level Martisans. But for getting signets for these types of things, we're still going to have to pay players for the signets, right? Lockbox and keycard use. So you saw earlier on stream we happened to get a copper keycard. You can actually go get the lockboxes as well that go with them. And once you have a lockbox and a keycard, you can head to your action menu to open that lockbox. Which have chances at getting different tool packs or recipes to make things, which you could then trade on the market or you could open yourself. So you basically get access to tasks that not many other people have access to. Where can you find the boxes? Not buying them on the market. You find them in scavenging. So depending on your scavenging level. So scavenging is now basically a small loss a lot of the time when you're doing it. You're getting not the best stuff, but then the big payoffs. So you hit the lockboxes, you hit pieces of art. I think even art has come down a little bit, but lockboxes is your big payout from scavenging. Yeah, I would check the wiki. The wiki has all the info on what level scavenging gives what kind of drops and things like that. Larger players need to be able to acquire signets to support their play and not be taxed by having to buy them. That's the whole purpose of specialization. You have to pick 2 skills to specialize in, and if you want signets in the other skills, you have to pay those players to get them. It's specifically an anti-whale thing. No one player is supposed to be able to do absolutely everything, no matter how much they put in. Alright. Popping that open, we get 10 food warehouse shards. Wow. That's pretty fortunate. So the food warehouse does not exist yet, but opening these lockboxes and getting these shards is sort of the... trying to have a lot of the shards available before the building goes live, right? Lockbox is not the payout for scavenging. It's only 40 Dusk and you don't find them often. At low levels, yes, but at higher levels, the more you go up, the more the lockboxes are worth. Plus, you can open up those lockboxes and then find recipes that are worth like tens of thousands. Like, I think most recipes, like here's one that sold for 10,000, 1350, 7,500. So lots of players will pay very high value for a lot of these things. And the best bet, because they're pretty unique, is to reach out on Discord and let people know you found one, and people will try and connect and buy them from you. Alright. Next things we'll do, a few more rusty rigs. And we'll pop open that pack for the last thing to do here on stream and give away whatever we open. So for people who aren't aware, here's your odds for what to get in these Roverworks packs. So about a 50-50 for... It's 50-50 for uncommon or something else. 5% chance for those legendary Roverworks as well. Yep, that's the idea. Switching specializations is tough. You're supposed to pick a field to specialize in and stay in that lane. So mine are electrical and fabrication. If I switch, I lose a ton of levels, I lose a bunch of experience. You're supposed to specialize and pick something to be good at. Last stream we got all uncommon. Yep. Legend. Now we think we're getting legendary. All right. How many do we have to open before we don't hit an uncommon? I think we opened them last time until we hit something that wasn't uncommon, right? So we'll pop this guy. And there we go. We hit a rare immediately. Oh, and I guess we're the first player to do it. Crafting 2 rare rover works, so we get some free shards out of it. That's pretty cool. We'll take that. Is there more achievements in that same chain? Or no, it's just do this thing. Oh, we aren't the first person. Felix got here before us. Well, hopefully if we pull open... We should be able to do this and hit a legendary, right? An epic or a legendary, and then that should be an achievement. Felix was very quiet about it. Yeah, no kidding. And... yeah, see, no problem. No problem. We'll just hit the epic. We'll do that. That sounds good. Yeah. We'll just open a couple. We'll hit a rare, we'll hit an epic, no big deal. Next week will be the legendary? Yeah, okay, sounds like a plan. Yeah, tune in next week where we rip a legendary on our first go round. Alright, well, we picked up a spare rare rover works there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, now next one is legendary, right? Should we rip a third one and just pull open a legendary? I know some people want to buy those packs though and open them for themselves. Like, I'm happy to sell them for people who wanna chase those do those same pack openings themselves. Gotta go for legendary because the story is worth it. So we hit that 5%, then we have a really fun back-to-back-to-back. Are we still selling for 5,500? Yes. What happened to our music? Our music's having a bad time, I guess. Alright, we got real quiet all of a sudden. I guess that's not the worst thing. Seems likely given our history. Still selling for 5,500. Yeah, so we can list those packs on the market for 5,500 if anyone wants them. That's no problem. Yeah, our music there. What do we do? Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened. Lost it there for a second. Okay, so we'll throw up one pack on the market for anybody who wants that pack. And then I think we have enough left over to do like one more opening, right? What do we have left? Rover Works. Gold pack. Where's our gold packs? So we have 3. So we can list 2 on the market for like 5,400 for anyone who wants those. There you go. If you feel like ripping your own, those are some grilled cheese lucky streaming packs. Go for it. Okay, and then yeah, we'll open that last pack and we'll pull a legendary just to round out the story, right? Alright. We're just making up for last week, right? Alright. Now all epic? Yeah. Alright, well. I'm happy to give away a couple things here today. Because we've had such fantastic luck. We've been incredibly lucky. We will set up some giveaways here. Yeah, it's just making up for the lack of Rusty rigs, right? That's what's happening here. Because Rusty just doesn't want to pay us out at all. We never get anything from here. And so they're just giving us really good pack luck to make up for it. What are we looking for? We are going to... giveaways. Yes, add a giveaway for a Vulcan Metalworks common and a Roverworks Rare Roverworks Gen 3. Alright. There we go. So, I think people who have been here in the past, there was a winner last week who didn't end up getting their giveaway because they actually didn't have an account. They didn't play Million on Mars. If there's people who are tuning in and you don't already play, like, we're happy to hook you up and, like, get you some, like, a basic plot and some buildings, get you going, tell you, like, chat about how to play the game, all that stuff. So, like, if you're winning prizes and you're not even playing, we don't give them out on chain. We give them out in-game. So, you know, let me know if you don't play and we'll teach you how. Alright, we'll start this giveaway here. Exclamation mark raffle puts your name in the draw for a chance to win a Vulcan Metalworks and a rare Gen 3 Roverworks. You do have to be following the channel if you want to win things on the channel here. You'll know that your name was entered when you get a message back from Streamlabs there, and it'll tell you, yes, your name was entered properly. We try to give them out to people who regularly tune in and are viewers. Just helping people out. But some of the other things that we have going on here, we will let the first person we pick choose whether they want the rare Gen 3 Roverworks or the Vulcan Metalworks. So you got 2 minutes to get your name in the draw there. And what are we, like, 1 minute left. And yeah, if you're not already following the channel, you do have to follow in order to win. And, oh, something else I wanted to, like, drop and let people know, like, if anyone's not aware, Million on Mars also has a subreddit. And so we're over there and we're posting some... I highly recommend cross-posting memes that you're throwing up on the Discord to the subreddit as well. I mean, Jumpkit and I tune in over there all the time. And so what we're trying to build a little bit of a community over there and get things going. We're posting, like, links to the streams, links to the wiki, meme templates, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Reddit's just another place where I enjoy hanging out. Can we link the subreddit? Yeah, I mean, it's just the Million on Mars subreddit. But, here we go. There we go. Oh, nope, failed to post. My bad. We didn't figure it out. We gave up. No, cancel, yes. I mean, the subreddit is just r/Million on Mars. But yeah, we're starting to show up over there. Yeah, you can find it easily enough. Alright, thanks everyone for hopping on in. We will grab our winner for today. Our first winner can choose either the Vulcan Metalworks or the Roverworks, whatever you want. Iceman1347, congratulations. Yeah. Drop your wax address in the chat and we'll make sure we get that sent over your way. Awesome. All right. And our second winner is going to get a common Vulcan Metalworks as well. Where'd my buttons go? I seem to have lost things. There we go. Okay, our second winner getting a Vulcan Metalworks, common Vulcan Metalworks. I think one of the things to talk about for these aerospace buildings are that there's a limited number of schematics. So if you actually pop over here and go to the treasury, you'll be able to see how many total exist. So there's only another 779 Vulcan Metalworks that will be coming from this treasury pool. I think there was 1,000 to start, maybe. So there's only 200 and something in existence, and there's only 1,000 total. So you can see that for a number of buildings and things on here. There's going to be a lot more fuel tanks. There's going to be a lot less. No, there's going to be a good amount of launch pads. Only about 1,000 rocket fuel factories. Vulcan Metalworks. Not that many engine factories as well. Anyway, all that being said, we are giving away that common Vulcan Metalworks to XORS. Congratulations! Someone who tunes in regularly. Really nice to see. Yeah! Huge! Drop your wax address in the chat. We'll make sure we get that sent over your way. Excuse me. And, yeah. So, for anyone who hasn't already, make your way over to the Discord. Come join our fantastic community and connect with all the members over there. We try and hang out pretty regularly and say hi to people and, you know, answer any questions that come up. And if you haven't already, you can make your way over to the YouTube and check out any of our previous streams get posted over there. It might take a little while to get these uploaded, but usually no more than a week, and you'll be able to review any previous streams that have been going on. And, yeah, any last-minute questions before we call it a day? Why is 2549 no longer green? I don't know what you're referring to. One last question. Do you know how to build Velociraptor? Can we build it yet? No. So, there are 7 total aerospace buildings. 4 are currently buildable. 3 you can acquire the schematics, but you can't make them yet. So that's the launch pad, the hangar, and the Velociraptor engine factory, I believe. Alright. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We will catch you over on the Discord sometime soon. And, yeah, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Alright. Later.